Hi everyone, Quiveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. We have just over a week to go until the eclipse, and don't worry, at least the next video on this channel will deal with this eclipse. The darkening that we're seeing here is the moon moving in front of the sun, making planets like Venus visible during the day. We're going to look more at this from other locations besides Ireland in the very next video. But before that, we're going to take a look for the Perseid Meteor Shower and try to figure out where it's going to look best. We did this recently for the Southern Delta Aquariid Meteor Shower, and in order to see the Southern Delta Aquariid Meteor Shower well, we had to go into the south. We had to go into the southern hemisphere. We really had to change our latitude, not just our longitude. As it turned out, we had to change our longitude quite a bit as well. In this case, we're seeing the Perseids fairly close to the zenith just as the sun comes up, and we're seeing the Perseids very close to their peak of 100 meteors an hour. Of course, this is the peak predicted by Stellarium. There may be fewer meteors per hour in the real sky. These meteor showers do vary over time. We can see here the parent body of the Perseid meteor shower is the comet 109P Swift-Tuttle. 109P means the 109th periodical comet discovered, and it was discovered by Swift and Tuttle. These would be two second names. This comet, as it says, it is periodical. It goes around the sun regularly. And when it passes by the sun, as it moves through the solar system, it leaves behind a trail of material. When the Earth moves through that trail of material, some of it burns up in our atmosphere as meteors or shooting stars. That's really how most of these meteor showers work. That's how the Perseids work. And that leads to some natural variability, depending on how long it's been since we passed the stream, how long since the comet came through the stream. And with long period comets that move past the orbits of planets like Jupiter, the gravity of Jupiter can have an influence on how much material is in the stream, how close that stream is to the Earth, and how many meteors we're going to see. We're not too far off great viewing conditions looking at the Perseids from here in Ireland. We need to move to a location where the Perseids are closer to the zenith, while the sky is a little bit darker. So the first thing that we're going to do is move a little bit to the east. We may need to move a little bit to the west, but we'll try moving to the east first. That does bring them a little bit higher in the sky, but we want them higher in the sky closer to their peak of 100. So this is going down. We'll come back to their peak of 100. There we go. And we'll keep moving east because that does seem to be bringing them higher in the sky. So they are higher in the sky here, but we're also getting a lot more influence from the sunrise. Moving down improves things, so we're getting less influence from the sunrise, but we're also seeing them a little off the zenith as well. So if we take a look at the sky here, I've mentioned the zenith a lot, especially in relation to zenith hourly rates. This is the zenith, where all of the spokes of this wheel come together. That is the zenith. We want to get the Perseid meteor shower as close to that position in the sky as we can before the sun comes up. So this would really be ideal, but of course the sun is in the sky, so we need to move lower on the planet, which does allow things to get darker, but moves the Perseids away from the zenith. So here we go. This is a pretty good location. We're seeing them at their max, close to the zenith, but at least the sky is dark. They're not exactly on the zenith, but as we can see, if we move higher on the planet to get them closer to the zenith, the sun rises and the sky gets too bright. We have to move back in the direction of Ireland to get the sky dark again. But this does look promising. This looks good. We'll see. Moving lower on the planet doesn't help. Moving higher on the planet brings the sun back up. So around here, somewhere around Germany, the Netherlands, by the looks of it, yep, those are the kinds of names that we're getting generally around the Netherlands and Germany. That looks like it could be one of the best positions to see the Perseids this year. But we're still seeing them with the light pollution, which of course is making our view worse. So we will get rid of the light pollution to give ourselves the best possible view and the highest possible numbers, because that's really what we're aiming to do here. So we can see here 100 local hourly rate and the current hourly rate. We can see it getting up towards the 90s as it approaches the zenith. But of course, it's still not perfect. And with the Perseids meteor shower, they're in the constellation of Perseus. Perseus isn't on the ecliptic. So that means we're not going to see the Perseids exactly on the zenith when we're at the equator, and we'd have to move pretty far north to get the Perseids exactly on the zenith. We're also seeing this in August, when the constellation of Perseus is pretty close to the sun. Not very close to the sun, of course. We can see there's a bit of a gap here, but we are seeing this close to 3 o'clock in the morning. We have to wait until close to sunrise before the zenith gets high in the sky. We'll move around a little bit more now that we are in the countryside to see if we can make things a little bit better, to see if we can get more meteors. So we're seeing 91 here, but there is the issue of the sun coming up. The Perseids are a tricky meteor shower to see perfectly, as some meteor showers are visible at the zenith when the sun is on the opposite side of the sky. Some meteor showers for some locations peak when the meteor shower is actually at the zenith and it's completely dark. But not all meteor showers do. Some meteor showers peak closer to sunrise. Some meteor showers peak where, due to the seasons, they're going to be close to the sun no matter what happens, or they're going to be very low in the sky from many locations. As we saw with the Southern Delta Aquariids, they don't look great from Ireland because you need to be in the southern hemisphere to really get the best view. So we're getting up to 92 here. We'll keep moving down. It's down to 89. Moving over only brings it up to 90. It looks like a good chunk of the world, if you're in the countryside. A large portion of Europe, particularly Eastern and Northern Europe, are going to get a good view of these meteor showers. And we can see, even if we move to less ideal conditions, we're still getting a pretty good view up to 73. I will show what this looks like from over in the United States, around the middle of the United States, just to give you an idea. Here, the radiant of the Perseids is now really, really low in the sky when it's close to peaking. We're looking at this in the countryside and we're only getting a rate of 7. As it climbs higher in the sky, the amount climbs, but it's only high in the sky when it's far from the peak. So that drops the amount of meteors you can potentially see, even lower than what we can see here in Ireland when it's at its peak. So the Perseid meteor shower, it's really a particularly good one for us, at least this year. Sometimes the peaks happen when the radiant is over a different location of the Earth. Of course, the amount of times the Earth rotates, our 365-day year is really 365 and a quarter day year, so things do move around a little bit. But, well, we can see here that the maximum is being given for the 12th. So I will change the date just in case. But, of course, I believe that's due to time zones more than anything else. Yeah, we're still seeing the peak here after midnight on the 13th. If we move back, we get closer to the actual peak of the meteor shower, but the amount of meteors visible to this location is lower. As we move forward, we come further from the peak of the meteor shower, but the amount of meteors visible for this location does go up. So it looks like very close to morning time on the 13th will be the best time to see this in the United States. For this location in the United States, of course, it's a very, very big place, but generally in North America, you're going to want to wait until morning time for the radiant to get high in the sky, much as we will here, but unfortunately not quite as close to the peak. So that is the Perseid meteor shower. I want to make a deal out of it because, of course, on the 12th, we're going to have this eclipse. So I think a lot of people will be looking at the sky, hopefully with the right protection. I think people are going to be looking at this eclipse, looking at things to do with astronomy on this date anyway. So I think it is worth waiting an extra couple of hours, enjoying the eclipse, seeing the eclipse happening, and then after the eclipse, waiting until the sky gets dark, waiting until a little closer to morning time, and seeing the Perseid meteor shower as it comes through the sky. And we don't even have to wait until close to morning time. We're back in the city. We're just after midnight here. We're just after physical midnight at least, and we're seeing up to 29 meters an hour. If you're more of an early riser, that could work as well, because we will be getting closer to the peak as we get closer to morning time, bringing us up to about 40 meters an hour, even in the city, just before the sky gets too bright. And again, other meteor showers would contribute if any were peaking close enough to this date, but none of them really are. A lot of them are peaking earlier in August, this one here later in August, but none of them are anywhere near as productive. None of them will contribute anywhere near as many meteors to the sky as the Perseids can. It's one of the better meteor showers that we see during the year. So I don't want people to forget about it just because there's a solar eclipse on the same day. Of course, we get the Perseids every year and we don't get a solar eclipse every year. If you are in Spain, you will get at least a chance to see some solar eclipse for the next 3 years, and that's something we will talk about in a future video. So I hope you come back for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get to see the Perseids in the real sky. If you did enjoy this video, then please do like it. If you like this kind of content, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you would like to read this information, you can do so on my website, queevinscontent.ie. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time.